Have you already put your autumn wreath on your door? And are you eyeing all those wonderful Halloween items in your store? Well, I say, don't take it off the shelf. Make it yourself. Crafting with me, Indiana Jones. And today, if you like anything farmhouse, rustic, or primitive, well, have I got something to share with you. Today I'm participating with a Rustic Wednesday, but on Saturday playlist that is hosted by my sweet friends Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling and Shelly of Repurposed My Way, who is the Rustic Queen. So if you love rustic, primitive, and farmhouse decor, stay tuned. The first step to any rustic, magical Halloween or fall decor is, of course, having a black cat. Here I have my little black cat Kuru, who is inspecting the proper color of pumpkin because after all, she knows best. So here I'm staining some wood blocks with some orange paint, and all I did was take some acrylic paint, namely folk art, and watered it down a little bit just to do the staining of these little wooden blocks that I had in my stash. Now, if you like rustic or decor, of course, you should always add something that has wood. If you have any raffia or moss, I'm trying to think of other elements that are typically in rustic decor. Anything that's metal, that's rusty, of course, you have to include that. Now, to continue with my little blocks, I'm also using a staining gel just to darken the color of orange. It seemed too light for me, and I just wanted to just add a little bit of age. So you can use staining gel. You can also add some brown paint, also watered down, and it just gives such a different look, and it adds so much depth just doing this one little step. Now grab some of your wooden beads. I know you have them in your stash and they're just sitting around, so let's grab some of these because they're going to be perfect to anchor some little creatures that I'm going to create today. For some reason, I really focused on small little curiosities, I like to call them, for Halloween, simply because I don't want to fill up, first of all, my space as far as my storage space with big designs or decor designs. Also, I love having small little items of decor instead of just big, ones for little corners of your house, your bookshelf, little ways that you can decorate. And, we're trying to save space. And also these are really cute if you want to take any of these into the office and just have a little something on your desk to remind you that fall is just around the corner. So here I'm taking these little wooden blocks, and as you can see, I have painted Boo. Why? Because I'm creating these tiny little ghosts made of foam clay, as you can see there. Now what I did for the head was I did include another wooden bead, and it's with the hole facing down. The top of the hole, I did fill that with a little bit of clay so the clay wouldn't sink into there, but also because I'm now going to use a skewer to anchor that little ghost to my wooden blocks. Now I'm gluing the little wooden beads to the top of each one of these little blocks. But not only that, but we're going to decorate it further by adding some moss. Now this is the season of moss, I have to say, and I love including moss. I know it's messy, but gosh, I just love the effect. Look at the difference. Those, from just plain little beads to adding the moss, it adds so much, and especially if you're doing primitive and rustic decor. Now all you have to do is add your little ghosties, and you can make them any way you like. Of course, I used air dry clay, but you can also use cheesecloth if you prefer that look. But I just like the air dry clay because it lasts longer. Once it dries, it lasts so long. And look at how cute this looks together. You can have this on a shelf. These are perfect. All of the ones that I'm doing today are going to be perfect for tiered trays. And I just think they're adorable, don't you? Now, I had this mini little cutting board, which I was using to try to learn how to use one of my engravers, my wood engravers, and it didn't work out too well. So I decided, well, it's time to upgrade this. And the first thing I'm doing is using that gel stain once again and darkening the color of the wood, because obviously if this is for rustic or primitive decor, it should have a richer color of wood or something darker and deeper, especially for the fall. I found this wonderful design on the Graphics Fairy. If you ever need any kind of rustic or vintage decor printouts, go to the Graphics Fairy. They're free and you just print them out on regular paper and you can use them any way you wish. Now, once I've measured out, and it was wonderful that I had those grooves in that little cutting board, now I'm just adding some Mod Podge from the Plaid family of products, and I'm actually going to let it dry and use my tiny little iron on this tiny little cutting board, because I love the effect that it has no wrinkles whatsoever. Now, if you use a regular sized iron, you must make sure that it doesn't have steam and it's at a very, very low temperature. But there you have it. Look at that. It just looks fantastic. It almost looks like it's been painted onto the wood. I absolutely love this design. Now, of course, I have to add some embellishments. I have this wonderful raffia bow and some leaves, and that's all you really need for any kind of rustic decor. And I love the primitive look for fall and Halloween. I did it last year, and I am going to enjoy working with that aesthetic this year once again. I like to build upon my collection instead of moving right away to another decor idea. But I will be sharing other styles that I like as well, so stay tuned. A local gift shop right around the corner from my house was closing, and they were selling many of their items for 75% off. So I want to thank Betty for, all the wonderful sales and items that she had that she offered to me for this wonderful price. And I found this little set of, I guess they're called cheese boxes. And once again, I'm using this staining gel. I think I really, really like the staining gel, because look at the difference with that color wood to this color wood. And of course, if you're going to do anything rustic or farmhouse or primitive, I forgot the word, primitive. I think it's so much nicer if you use a darker color. Now, I could have covered this with another color of paint, but I just really, really love the natural wood. So that is why I'm keeping this natural. And for now, and you never know, maybe in the future I might paint it a different color, but I just thought for now, I really like the way it turned out with this beautiful gel stain. This is such a fast and easy way to create some rustic or primitive decor for your home or office or for your schoolroom even. These are so cute. These are the old-fashioned looking clothespins, and I have some of this fabric, and I thought how cute to make little witches. So I remember as a child using these clothespins to create ornaments on my Christmas tree, but never to create something for Halloween. So here I'm gathering all of my rustic or farmhouse fabrics that I had around the house to create my little witches. Now here I'm going to create some hats, and I'm going to coordinate all of these different styles of fabric and patterns, and it's just having fun. And this is really, if your kids are just getting awful about, school is starting and they're sad and bummed, or they're bored because it's the last days of summer, this is a fun thing to do with them. And think of Halloween and say, hey, if you want to dress up some witches, what do you mean dress up some? Yeah, make some clothespin witches. These are so fun. And again, use the scraps that you have around the house. And again, you can find these anywhere at Dollar Tree or Dollar General. You can usually find these type of clothespins. You can use the other clothespins as well, and there's so many ways that you can use these clothespins, especially for rustic decor. You can also make little pumpkin people by painting the tops orange, or ghosts. You can make little ghosts. So many things that you can make with these clothespins, and they would just be perfect for any kind of primitive Halloween or fall decor. So here I'm just making little hats. I just inserted a little piece of toilet paper roll just to make sure that they're nice and pointy. And that's it. I'm just adding them, putting them together, making their cute little faces. And I can just add them into baskets or put them into those wooden bowls that everybody likes so much. I gotta get myself one of those dough bowls, I think they're called. And just have fun with it. Use your little scraps. You can use paper as well. And, or, you know, cheesecloth. You can put this together and make little ghosts with cheesecloth. And what's fun is that because they're wooden, you can actually, you know, clip them onto things. You can clip them onto a banner. You can create a banner with these, and they would just look adorable. Look how cute they are. They're just adorable. So I hope you try this out. And again, have fun with it, with your family, with your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, anything you like, or even coworkers. Why not get together and have a little crafting lunch? This is a perfect project because you'll be done in like 5-10 minutes. The hardest thing is just getting the, you know, fabrics all coordinated. You have to have coordinated little witches. But again, this is great for tiered trays as well. I hope you try this out with your friends and family. Magical black cat paws are going to change, presto changeo, Christmas decor into Halloween and fall, I suppose. So here I have this wonderful little tag. I've had it hanging around the house, and specifically hanging around my craft room because I've always wanted to do something with it. I found once again on the graphics fairy. Look at this cute little kitty cat. I'm not going to use that kitty cat. I'm going to use that for something else. But look at this little pumpkin girl. I fell in love with that cute little face, and I said, I have to have her somewhere in my primitive decor. What's more, I'm challenged to create something similar to her. Oh, there's a cattail. And again, she wanted to paint. She wanted to paint with her black tail and my black paint. But look at this cute little face. I am going to use this as a model and create something similar to this, and just have it because I just think she's adorable. And she has a little poncho that's made of leaves. I want a poncho made of autumn leaves. Who wouldn't want a poncho made of autumn leaves? Now here I am burning the edges because I just wanted to look more rustic and antique. And all I did was just paint the back of this tag with black on the edges. And now I'm just creating this wonderful tag, a little bit of glue. For this I just used stick glue, and that's it. It was so easy. Now I did use some of the staining gel afterwards over the whole design just to give it a little richer color and a little darker. And I just think she's so adorable. Imagine you can make a whole bunch of these and add them to a wreath or create a banner that would go across your mantle. I hope you try this one too. I've noticed this year in most of the Halloween decor that ghosts are a big thing. So here I'm using some cheesecloth, and all I did was cut out just a square of cheesecloth, and now I cut out another square to go on top of the ghost that's going to be all shagged out. It's going to be strips and strips that I've cut and ripped into the cheesecloth. So the first layer is complete, and then the second layer has all of these rips. Now I'm putting together some raffia, some trim that I had around the house, and I am just going to tie this around the little ghost's neck, and I just think it looks so adorable, so rustic. I've seen this in so much of the rustic primitive decor that I watch on YouTube. There's not a lot of that here in Miami. Now I'm going to add the little eyes to this beautiful little ghost. But yeah, there isn't a lot of primitive decor down in Miami, so I use a lot of videos that do like shop walkthroughs to keep me inspired. Like Bridget's Primitives, I believe, she has so many wonderful little tours. Now I'm adding some Scrabble tiles that I had in my stash that's going to spell out boo, and I think it's perfect once again on this scrap fabric that I'm adding it to, and it just looks so adorable. Once again, something small, something cute, but spooky fun for anywhere in your house, and it could be on your desk at work or here at home or in the kitchen on a tier tray. Wouldn't this lovely little ghost just be perfect to fit anywhere in your home? He's waiting for you to make him for yourself. I was thrifting recently and I found these wonderful little pumpkins. I absolutely love them. But if you can't find pumpkins like these, there are plenty of pumpkins out in the wild that you can get from Dollar Tree or Dollar General. And worst case scenario, make your own. I had this mustard yellow kind of color and fabric, so I just cut it out, and it was from a dress that I was going to give away to Goodwill, and I decided to use it. So I filled the bottom with some stones that you would have like for floral decor. You can use marbles or just pebbles, whatever you want to use. And I use that just to weight it down so it's easier for me to place it anywhere I want. Now I'm gathering again the circle of fabric over the fluffy foam, or the filler foam, I guess you call it, filler. And that's it. I just tied it together with one of those clear rubber bands for your braids, and you can make your own pumpkin. Now I have these little seedling pots also in my stash. If you have them or you can find them at the Dollar Tree, fantastic. But if not, you can also use toilet paper rolls for this. I'm using these little plastic shot glasses because, again, I had them in my stash, and I'm going to create little pumpkin critters, I guess. I don't know what else you want to call them. But these are all little curiosities that I'm sharing with you that I think would be perfect, once again, for any corner of your house or your tier tray. Now I'm covering up these shot glasses as they're going to be the stands for my little pumpkins, as you saw there. Again, using fabric, using paper, whatever you have on hand. It's perfect. Now you're going to glue your little shot glasses into your little pots. But first, what I did do is, once again, I'm going to darken that color of the pots. And you can make them look like terracotta, whatever you prefer, but I just like to darken them up with that wax. And then I'm going to pour some more of my stones in there and glue my little shot glass right into that pot. The stones or the rocks, whatever you have available that you can put inside, adds weight to it, so it's not easy to knock over. Or especially with my cats, man, they love it when I decorate because they like to knock things over. So this is safe for them to knock over, and it will be harder for them to do it. Now let's make some little look at the cutest little faces for these little pumpkin people. I love the creepy little cute faces of Primitive Decor. I don't know, it's strange, but I like it. I don't know why I've really gotten into it. I still like vintage and retro, but something about Primitive Decor I don't know, it just warms my little heart. So here I'm adding my little pumpkin to the top of the shot glass for each of these little pumpkins. I drew different faces on them so they all have different characters. And then once again, I'm going to add some moss to the pot so that it looks nice with the little pumpkin, hovering over it. Once again, moss is one of those necessary evils for the fall, and especially if you like Halloween and Primitive Decor, just as glitter is a necessary evil, I think, for Christmas. I don't know, I just have to have something glittery and sparkly during Christmas time. But now it's time for fall. So not only did I add some moss, but I'm going to add some other embellishments, including these cute little labels that, again, Betty, thank you so much, gave to me. These wonderful little, they're burlap little labels, little tags, and I thought it would be cute to name each one of these pumpkins with a specific type of pumpkin. What do you think? This cute little trio of pumpkins would be so happy in your home, but look at how cute. You have a pumpkin pie, you have a sweet pumpkin, and they are just so fun, especially for a rustic or farmhouse decor. Now here's some fun witches hats that we're going to make, and all I'm using once again are some scrap black fabric that I had. Actually, it's these old canvas bags that got like stained, so I said, you know what, instead of throwing it away, I'm just going to create little witches hats. Again, just so fun. And you can, mix and match them. You can put the witches hats on top of the pots or on top of the blocks, however you want to make them. And maybe I should have made like one with a pot, one with a block, one with what's the other one with what I'm doing with this one. I'm actually using little spools. So here I'm just putting together my little witches hats, and what I did inside is add a little bit of stuffing or cotton balls, whatever you have around the house, and putting together each one of the witches hats. It's really hard to see the top of the witches hats once I add it to the brim of the witches hats because it's so dark. But anyway, here I added some, or I used, I should say, some sandpaper to make sure that they were nice and rustic and fringy. I love that. I love that. Now, all I'm doing is using some old spools to decorate or to elevate these little witches hats a little more. So these are just ribbon spools that I had in my stash because I'm that crazy that I keep empty ribbon spools. Not a lot of them, but a few of them. This one was missing the top, and I was like, I was all upset. And I said, I'll just make another top. And I'm like, why do I need to make a top? I have extra tops from these spools all over the house. So I'm just covering the inside of the spool with some fabric. First, I used a little bit of that cheesecloth. Now here's some ribbon. Here is that extra little top that I had for another spool. And this one I initially put just black, and I didn't like it because it was like it's the same fabric as I'm using for the witches hats. So I had this beautiful black and white gingham, which I thought was perfect to add to this spool. Now to each spool I also coordinated some little ribbons or bow ties. Some of them were none of them are made from ribbon. It's all just scrap materials that I have or that I ripped to make these ties. I really like that. Now I'm just adding the witches hats to each one of the spools and adding some more embellishments. Once again, this is so much fun to just sit and create all of these embellishments. And I also thought, if you have a booth somewhere and you're opening your booth starting this summer, this month of August, all of these are so easy to make, so inexpensive, and you can sell them for like $5, and people would just love to see this and have this in their own home. Look at how cute this little trio of witches hats. Now let's put it all together and see how I created. I also added cinnamon to my black witches hats. So let's see how the final reveal pulls all of this together. Thanks again to our host Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling and Shelly of Repurposed My Way. Please remember to visit their channels and all the channels that are participating in today's playlist. Thanks again for stopping by, and if you enjoyed this or learned something, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, stay safe, be kind. God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure. And I'll see you again very soon with another fun adventure for fall and Halloween.
Pumpkins on the porch, glowing gold. Raggedy ghosts sway, shiver in the cold. Leaves whisper secrets to the biting air. A witch hat's tossed, forgotten, near the rocking chair. Oh, pumpkins and raggedy ghosts, witch hats by the fire, where shadows boast, black cats cozy, curled up tight. Halloween's here, under the moon's pale light.